Alright people, so here we have the all new, brand new Sony Xperia 1 Mark VI, and in this video I'm going to be taking it around the beautiful city of London. There have been a certain number of changes introduced to this thing and I cannot wait to show you guys. Also, a quick side note, I have actually been using this phone for the past 1 or 2 months now because I was actually fortunate enough to be asked to make the product announcement video for this phone, so a massive thank you to Sony for giving me the opportunity. So first of all, first impressions, the phone actually comes in this very slick, very minimal 100% recycled packaging. It's original blended material, which I think is pretty cool. And then as soon as you open the box, you're presented with this beautiful phone, and for me, first thing that strikes me are the lenses. Now let me tell you, this phone is an absolute focal length machine. So to give you guys a quick rundown of what we're looking at here, we've got optical image quality at 16mm, 24mm, a 48mm and an 85 to 170mm optical zoom lens, which is just insane, and it kind of begs the question, why as a photographer do I carry all these heavy lenses in my bag and basically just ruin my back every time I go out to shoot, when I can literally just fit it in my pocket. Also, for the portrait lovers out there, of course we can use the bokeh mode on 24mm, but we can also use the 85 to 170mm zoom lens to get those ultra compressed portraits, and I tell you, I've actually loved using this feature. Another feature that I've loved playing with is the addition of the new macro lens, and I tell you, this thing is absolutely insanely powerful, insanely impressive. You can literally get so close to things and punch into worlds that you literally never knew existed, and that's one thing I've loved to experiment with and also get creative with. And of course, last but not least, but definitely not forgetting, is the nighttime capabilities of the camera on this thing. We've got the X-T sensor at 24mm, which is just incredible. And as you guys know, I absolutely love doing night photography. So stick around to the end of this video where I'm going to be taking you guys on a really cool London night shoot. Alright people, so to start off this video, we're going to be doing some portraits. I'm joined here with my friend Astrid. She's kindly joined us in the rain. The weather's not great, but we're mainly going to be shooting on the bokeh mode. So that'll be on the zoom lenses. We're going to try and get some compression. We're currently down by St. Paul's Cathedral, where I spent a lot of my time shooting. And we're probably going to go to 1 or 2 more locations just to show you guys exactly what this thing can do. As I said, it is raining, so we're kind of having to sort of come in and out of different locations depending on the lighting, and we don't want to get too wet. But yeah, that is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to have a camera here so you guys can see exactly what I'm shooting, how I'm shooting, and yeah, let's just get straight into it. If I just get you standing in the middle here on that checker thing, I'm going to shoot on about 24mm. So I'll get a couple full body, then I'll come a bit closer, yeah? Shooting. Come a bit closer. Cool, and then if you come around here to the pillars, and I'm going to switch over to the zoom lens. Yeah, perfect. If I come down the stairs a bit more, something like this. Okay, perfect. With that eye autofocus going off. I'm going to zoom in even more. Come way further. You can stay there, you're good. I'm going to zoom in way more to the 170mm lens. Okay, shoot now. Shoot some in portrait too. There we are. Alright people, so we've just come down to our next location. We're going to be using this window as a little bit of a sort of reflection. It looks quite cool. And one of the things we're going to be focusing on is, or just relying on, is the new and improved eye autofocus. So I'll pop up a clip on screen now, but you can see there's like a little green box that comes up and it tracks Astrid's eye really well, so that I can always ensure that she's always going to be in focus, so I can just mainly focus on framing my shots and not having to worry about them being out of focus. We've also got things like the new human pose estimation AI technology. So essentially that would recognize the shape of a human and it would sort of lock on focus to that, and that's just another way that we can ensure our focus is always going to be in check. So yeah, let's just get straight into it, shoot some portraits, and I'm going to bring you guys along with me. so we've come to our next location. Here I really want to show you guys the compression we can get on the 85 to 170mm optical telephoto zoom lens. We're at this really cool spot here. You've got London City in the background, so the building's going to look ultra compressed. We're going to have Astrid here framed with these trees, and that's pretty much it. I don't really know how it's going to look. The conditions have changed a bit now. It's not raining as much, so we're just going to crack on before any rain comes back. So yeah, fingers crossed. Let's just get straight into it. So that's cool. Going to bring that down. Yeah, that's cool. Let's try going 7 times. Yeah, that's cool. So I was having a quick play around with the macro feature. I think it's a 120mm macro lens, and I was holding it up to Astrid's eye like super duper close. And what's really cool is that you can get obviously the eyeball, but in this specific location you can get Tower Bridge reflecting in the background. So literally I'm just switching to macro, and if you look up to the light, Astrid, like that, and I'm gonna sort of go really close to your eye, and the detail you can get is actually mad. But it's hard to get the right shot, so you kind of just have to shoot and hope that one's going to be in focus. I've decided to take you up to one of my favourite viewpoints here in the city of London. We've got the Xperia phone 2, and we're just surrounded by skyscrapers. We've got this really lovely sort of green area too, which I think would be really cool to showcase the macro mode on the camera. I'm also wanting to show you guys the telephoto mode on the camera and all the different lenses, really, just so that I can show you the complete variation that we've got. I'm going to try punch into as many of the buildings as we can, get some cool details. Annoyingly, it's not looking great condition wise, but I'm going to stay up here for a little bit, and hopefully the sun comes out a bit later. I'm going to slap the camera on my chest so you guys can see exactly what I'm shooting here with this thing. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. Boom. All right, okay people, so here we have it. We've got the Sony Xperia, and this is our first viewpoint. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the camera app, and look, annoyingly we've got this really irritating glass, which is a bit of a pain to shoot through, I can't lie. So I am gonna come up with a quick solution. All right guys, so check this out. Basically, because of the glass reflection, it's left me sort of trying to think of a solution to it. So basically, I've attached my phone on a phone mount to my tripod, and basically, which means I can literally hold it. I can hold it all the way up there and basically get above the glass, defeat the glass, and I can get my shot. I'm gonna set a timer, like a 10-second timer. So if I go here, click this little thing here, this is our shooting mode. Gonna hit 10 seconds. So basically when I hit this button, 10 seconds will go by and it will essentially take a photo. I'm gonna press the button, 10 seconds will go by. First of all, I've got it on the wide angle lens on the 16mm. So I'm gonna hit 10 seconds, close the tripod in, hold that up. Okay, now that's just taken the photo. I'm gonna view that. And there we have it. That is exactly how you get rid of glass reflections. So I do only think it's right that we do talk about the macro lens whilst we're up here, just whilst we've got access to all this lovely detail. So one of the beauties of this lens is that you can basically slide this little slider here to sort of, it determines how close you want to get to a subject. So if I want to be not too close to it, I can slide it all the way to the right. And as you can see here, these lovely flowers looking cool. But if I want to zoom all the way in, I'm going to go all the way to the left. And I'm going to move my camera lens so close. You can get these insane details. I don't know if you can see that too well on the screen. And then you can just snap away, and you're going to come away with some really nice detailed shots. Alright people, so now it is pretty much my favourite time of the video, because I don't know if you can tell, but it's getting quite dark, and if you guys know me, then you know that I am very much more of a night photographer, so I'm gonna get the chance to showcase to you guys the night photography capabilities of this phone, and let me tell you, it's pretty insane. We can shoot in full RAW, which gives us even more control in editing. We can also shoot in full manual mode, so that means we can also do some cool long exposures, all that kind of thing. One of the great things about this camera, on the 24mm, we've got the new X-Mod-T sensor, which is just super sharp, crispy, and really good for low light photography. I'm going to wait a little bit longer so it gets a little bit darker so that we can properly test this thing, go to a few locations in London. I'm going to take you guys with me, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what kind of night shots I'm going to be looking for. So yeah, let's do it. First things first, we're going to switch from photo mode to pro mode. This is going to allow us a bit more flexibility and customization. I'm also going to come up here to menu, file format, and we're going to start shooting in RAW. So I'm going to switch that to RAW and JPEG. I'm going to come over and get like a nice landscape shot on the shard, sorry. I'm going to tap to focus on that. I'm going to press the shutter in the top right here, and I'm just going to get a nice flick, hold it super still, and there we go, we're shooting. And that is just such a sharp and crispy shot. Look at that filling up the whole screen. That looks super cool. There's like tiny little gaps in the fence. I'm going to try and get some shots through here of the shard. So I'm going to come in like that clean one of the city. I want you guys to see, I'm mainly shooting in landscape so it can fill out the whole screen, so you guys can just see how sharp this thing is. Kind of perched here on this railing, and I'm going to wait for a bus to come past, and I'm going to attempt to get a handheld long exposure. I'm actually going to shoot this in landscape. I'm sort of going to tense up my body and kind of just try and stay as still as possible. I'm going to tap to focus on Tower Bridge, and a bus should come past me in a few seconds, and I'm only really going to get one shot of this, but I reckon it's going to look mad, so I'm gonna hold out for it. 3, 2, 1. For a handheld long exposure, that is insanely sharp. I don't know if you guys can see that. So we've come to our next location. It's got significantly darker now, so this is going to be a massive test for the phone to see what it's capable of. And I know I complained about it earlier, the rain, but I'm actually very grateful for it now, because what's really great about this location here is actually what's on the ground, these puddles. If you sort of come down really low, I think you know where I'm going with this, you can get a really cool puddle reflection all the way down here. But I'm going to come down here and get like a really nice wide frame on 24mm. I'm putting the phone as close as I can to the puddle, just so we get that sort of even 50-50 split. We're at 24, so it's kind of tight for this frame. I'm going to hold still as I can and shoot that. Alright people, so this is going to be our last location. We've come down to the very familiar now location of St. Paul's Cathedral. I've actually pulled out the tripod because I want to put this thing into manual mode. So this is where we can get pretty creative with some long exposures, shoot some night trails, bus trails, things like that. Essentially we're going to be waiting for a few buses. We've got loads just going past me. Here's one now, and yeah, I love shooting night trails here, and I just wanted to bring you guys here to show you exactly what this thing can do. Tripod now mounted with our phone in our trusty little phone mount. I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of the settings. So first of all, I've popped the camera into manual mode, which means we can control our shutter speed. I've moved our shutter down to about 0.5 seconds or 0.4 of a second. I've popped it in 24mm, and I've moved the ISO down to about 100. And what I've also done is I've put a 3-second timer on, so that when I press the shutter, it gives me sort of 3 seconds to avoid any sort of camera shake, things like that, to make sure there's no blur in the photos. And now we're just going to wait for a bus to come whooshing past here. Going to hit the shutter when the bus is around there, so that by the time the bus goes through the frame, the shutter will go off and we'll get a nice crispy shot. Alright, so there we go, have a bus going past. If I zoom in there, there's a small example of what we're looking at. That's pretty good. Alright Alright people, so that pretty much wraps up my entire time shooting on the brand new Sony Xperia 1 Mark 6, and as always I've absolutely loved putting this thing to the absolute test in a number of different situations and environments. So for me, one of the main standout features was the ability, or the fact that we have access to so many different lenses, whether you're shooting on super wide at 16mm in the city, just trying to get all the architecture and things like that, or if you want to punch all the way into 170 to get even more detail. I think it's pretty incredible for a phone, and as I was saying at the beginning of the video, there's no need for carrying heavy backpacks anymore when you have a device like this. Also, another key thing for me was the fact that we have a 2-day battery life on the phone. Obviously when you're out and about shooting, you don't want to have to worry about having to keep your device charged constantly, but 2 days is quite a substantial amount of time, and it's pretty much more than enough for any situation before you can then go and charge it again. And also for me, I don't really shoot too many portraits, but one thing I did notice was the fact that the skin tones were so nicely retained when shooting portraits, and there was pretty much no distortion, if any, on the portrait mode. So that was another key thing for me. As well as that, there is one thing that I would like to sort of bring to your attention. So currently, you actually can't shoot, when you're shooting manual mode on video, you can't actually change or adjust the ISO. It's set to auto, but I do believe there is a software update coming pretty soon, which will give you full manual control over this. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up this entire video from me. I really hope that you guys did enjoy it. As always, I've absolutely loved taking you guys around the city, in the field, shooting with the phone and showing you exactly what it can do. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please feel free to leave a like, and if you think this is going to be the kind of content that you're interested in, then maybe consider subscribing to my channel. But yeah, other than that, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.